What's up, people? So this is a little breakdown of this mental health short film that I just made on my YouTube channel, and I got a lot of positive feedback on it, which I really didn't expect. I got a lot of comments that I didn't expect, and I was just really thankful for that. So I thought it was worth it to dive into it a little bit and tell you about how I made it. So first things first is the gear. I just want to get that out of the way. I'm using the ZV-E10 as always, which you're looking at right now, with the kit lens actually on it. But for this short film, I use this lens. This is the Sigma 28 to 70 millimeter lens, but I don't actually recommend using this exact one because it is a full frame lens and I'm using a cropped sensor camera. But the only reason that I'm doing that is because I do actually plan on upgrading my camera to a full frame camera later down the line. And so I didn't really want to buy two different lenses for that. But yeah, there are multiple options that are just as good as this lens, but they're a cropped lens and they're probably cheaper as well. So I do recommend going for that if you're only planning on using them with the ZV-E10. But yeah, I kind of want to just go over a couple of shots that I made for this short film and just break down how I made them real quick. So let's get into that. All right, so the setup for these first couple of shots where I'm having this mental breakdown, crying and shaking with my hands and stuff, is a very simple setup because I wanted it to be dramatic, so I only use one light. This is my key light. I forgot what brand it honestly is, but it is a very cheap key light from Bresser. It's from Bresser. There you go. There's the confirmation. But yeah, it is a cheap key light. You can't change the color on it. You cannot change the brightness. It's honestly pretty crappy, but you can do a lot with a little, in my opinion. So it really works. You just have to adjust your exposure a little bit. So as you can see, probably at the moment I've added a little bit of atmosphere, so you can see that there's some haze going on. And how I did this is right here, using my fog machine. I press a little button and then a bunch of fog comes out, and there you go. So basically what that does is it adds more depth to your image, and I really enjoyed the effect of it, especially for these dramatic type of shots. Now what I did is I positioned this key light very close to me so that the image would be very soft. I mean, the lighting on my face would be very soft. And I wanted a dramatic image, so I didn't really add any bounce for the right side of my face because it adds more moodiness and adds a moody vibe to the image to me. Then of course I positioned my camera a lot higher, and then I tried zooming in a little bit and just getting the angle right of the lighting, which is a little bit of a challenge, but you really get the hang of it pretty quickly, honestly. So the number one rule in terms of lighting here is to shoot shadow side of your face. So shoot on this side because it adds a lot more depth. As you'll see, if I shoot on this side, the image just isn't as interesting looking because you can see my entire face. And with this, there's different levels to my face. Now, this is a very extreme example because my entire right side is darkened, but you can also change that up a little bit and shoot over here more and get a effect of this is called Rembrandt lighting. It's where your right cheek is also a little bit lit up. But yeah, that's basically how I shot the first shot. Then I just framed it up with my other lens. Got very close to me, nice and dramatic. For the eye shot, I got this close. There you go. So, and then I started just trying to cry on command. Didn't really work that much, but that's basically what I did. So the next thing I want to go over is the couple of shots that I had in the bathroom where I was shaving. And the setup to this is very similar as the other one. I used the same key light over here. I positioned this slightly offset to my face. And I believe I put the camera over here on my tripod, which I will do right now. So I put it over there on the tripod, and then I zoomed it in a little more, and then I just made sure to keep that light on over there because it adds a little bit of contrast. As you can see, if I turn it off, it's a more dull image this way. And so the fact that that's a warmer light and the rest of this image is like a cold blue looking light adds more contrast, which I've said in different videos before. But yeah, that just is a neat little way to add a little bit of depth and contrast in your shots, I'm sorry. So yeah, I positioned it pretty much like this. I am using a different lens though for this. But yeah, this is basically how I positioned it. And then I applied the shaving cream over here. And then I got really up close for the other shots because I wanted some detailed shots of me shaving because it looks pretty cool. And then I just got really close. I used my 70 millimeter lens, got all the way over there and, started shaving. So is just to show you that these shots are really simple to set up. I mean, there's all these things that people talk about, like 3-point lighting, and those really are true, and I try using them as much as possible. But you'll probably find that for more shots than you think, you can really get away with doing a little, like one source of light here and then one background light, and I'm creating these scenes. It's really more about composition as well, and just knowing a little bit about lighting can make you cheat a way around it, maybe, if that makes sense, because you can start to realize, oh, okay, I don't need to use all of these lights because I could add a hair light here and add all kinds of other stuff, but not every shot needs it, because simplicity really is beautiful in its own way. So yeah, but that's basically what I did for these shots. And then there was the shots outdoors as well. So then lastly, for the outdoor shots, I just went outside at golden hour, and I used a variable ND filter, this one from K&F Concept, and that was handy because it was actually still quite bright even though it was golden hour. And then I darkened the image in post by adding a lot of grading on top of it. And really the key here was just shooting the opposite side of where the light is coming from, and that instantly makes your image so much more cinematic. So it's basically what I talked about shooting shadow side in the first shot that I did. That's really all I did here, and then I used the variable ND, and then I color graded it. So it was very simple as well. So I set my camera to picture profile 8, and then I shoot in S-Log3 with S-Gamma3.Cine, I think. And then I have a whole process on my computer with the color grading that I do. And I do want to talk about that because people were asking about it, and it is a very important step in filmmaking. So I want to quickly go over my very amateur, very easy color grading process that I personally do. So let's hop on the PC. All right, so I have this clip selected. It's this close-up of me shaving that I just talked about. And I just want to quickly go over the grading process here. So as you can see, this is a very flat image, and I actually overexposed it to about 2 stops on S-Log3, which is why it looks this flat. And the reason that I do this is because then I can adjust it in post a lot more. Now, what I use is Davinci Resolve. This is where I edit everything, I make all my sound designs, and this is also where I color grade everything. So if you go over here to the color tab, I will show you quickly the process that I personally use. So first of all, I add a bunch of nodes using Alt+S. So what I do here is the last layer, I right click on it and I go to LUT, Film Looks, and then one of these bottom 3 ones I usually use, which already adds a ton of effects on it, as you can see. And you can go over here and you can change how much you want it to affect it, as you can see. So for certain shots, you'll have to go more than others. And now for the second one, I usually add color space transform over here in effects. I drag it on top of there. And then in here, I type S-Gamma3.Cine, which is what I use, and then S-Log3, which is what I use. Now, I know there's a bunch of steps that I'm missing here and I'm not really paying attention to, but this is my personal process and it's probably wrong in a lot of ways. But it's just what I've found personally works for me. This is the fastest workflow that I have, and it's bound to change when I get to know more of this stuff, but yeah, that's what I do for now. And then the next node is very important. I'll usually set the key output to about 3 or 200 to make it way less intense, and then I add LUTs to it. So these are pre-installed LUTs, and you can easily get some of them for free on the internet. So this is just a pack called Look LUTs that I downloaded a couple of years ago, and as you can see, there's a bunch of different looks in here. You can go like Breaking Bad Mexico style, as you can see in the very yellow. So you can do whatever you want with this. This is purely you. This is just stylizing it as much as you want. So usually I go with ochre because it really fits these types of videos. And then I do also go ahead and tweak the intensity a little bit. And then something else I do is in the next node, I usually go to the color wheels and I take the highlights down because it is overexposed on purpose because I shoot in S-Log3. So then in post, I usually take down the highlights a little bit, and you can change the shadows, you can tweak them a little bit. as well. And then the little secret sauce that I use on some of my shots is I go over here to this wheel and I select a circle and then this, and I basically just take whatever I want to be highlighted in frame. So this could be a person's face or whatever it is, and then I go over here and I just drag it down in the middle a little bit. Now this looks very horrible, I know that, but I then up the softness a lot, which basically gives you sort of a vignette effect without even realizing it when you're looking at it. So yeah, I really personally like that for some shots. I don't always use it though, but that is basically what I do, and that's how fast I just did that shot. That's basically what I do to every shot. And then you can copy paste the grade you already have onto the next shot and then slightly tweak it or completely change it depending on the scene. So yeah, this is what we had before. I'll show it to you right now without any grading, and then this is with 2 minutes of color grading. So yeah, there you go. That is my process, so thank you. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching the last ones and commenting on them, liking them. It really means a lot to me, and I just want to keep making these types of videos and those short films and everything, because I really do enjoy doing it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and the next one and the next one after that as well, because I'll be here for a while. So yeah, see ya. With an emptiness, won't you tell me where the magic's gone?